All right, guys, so welcome back to the channel. I want to make a video on how to start a coaching business in 2025. So if you guys know, coaching businesses are one of the easiest businesses to start. They have very low barrier of entry, but there is a lot more competition, which is fine because if you have a product or a service or whatever you're kind of coaching people on is very different from what other people are coaching, then that's a pretty good offer you guys can sell. So when it comes to coaching, the first thing I always tell people is, what exactly are you going to coach people on? Because it seems like a lot of people are either coaching other coaches on how to coach other coaches, right? So that's kind of one area. Another area can just be just coaching people on business stuff, right? Because ideally, you want to coach people on either four items: health, wealth, love, and happiness, right? And ideally, teaching people on wealth does pay the most by far, right? So if you are going to start a coaching business, the easiest one to start is actually, or the one that's the most profitable by far, is going to be wealth, right? Because people can see the ROI right away, and there's a definitive return on investment based off what they're paying for, as opposed to something like something like health, something like that. They may not actually know how that will actually impact their pockets. So that's one area, right? Another area is also love, right? People who are like relationship coaches and stuff like that. That also tends to pay well as well, because that's a big pain point for a lot of people, and they want to learn how to, improve their love life, right? So that's another area. But anyways, all I'm trying to say is you got to find your niche. Ideally, you kind of want to be an expert, but not. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to know enough more than the regular person, right? So and I'm gonna come from the standpoint of wealth, because that's kind of where I am in, right? Even though it's not like I'm teaching business stuff, I'm teaching people how to get a job, right? That's a specific niche within wealth, right? Because maybe you're working a job making 40, 50K a year, and I'm teaching people how to increase the salary to 80, 90K a year, right? So that's helping people increase their pocketbook, right? So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. But the only reason I'm coaching this is because I've myself been through it, right? So I myself been through it, and since I've been through it, I now teach people on how to do exactly what I did, because people want to get the same results that I got, right? So that's kind of where I kind of started, right? So in terms of starting this particular business model, the first thing you need to do is you have to create content. Kind of like how I'm creating content right now. Like I said, it doesn't have to be this fancy YouTube editing stuff. It can just be very low effort, because in the beginning, you don't even know if it's going to succeed or not. So I would just start off by creating content. And the only reason I want you to create content is I want you to get comfortable talking in front of a camera, right? Right now, I usually now make videos without even having to edit. I can just ramble the whole time and then boom, have it done. But but that took me some time, right? I didn't get to this point. And if you can get to this point, it's really going to help you, because you can really produce content at volume. And the thing with YouTube and all these platforms, really just YouTube, I mean, Instagram, it doesn't matter how many times you post, it's all luck, right? You're gonna have to use ads to really go on that platform. But with YouTube, you can just kind of just post as often as you want and see what kind of gets you the most views, right? So my other channel that I have, which is the network engineering channel, I pretty much just talk about network engineering, and I would just posting, 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes even once a week, and it slowly grown and grown. I just would copy other creators, see what kind of videos they're making, and then see how I can make a similar video to what they made before, right? So once I did that, I realized, okay, cool, like there's something to this. Let me go ahead and just create more videos. And like I said, the videos were very low effort, no script, but that, like I said, that's takes time and effort. That's why you should just start recording yourself on camera, because people only trust people on video nowadays. So if you're just taking a picture of yourself, no one's really gonna touch you. You gotta be actually talking on camera, right? So that's one big thing right there. So talking on camera. Once you get comfortable, then I want you to start posting on Instagram, right? Once you start posting on Instagram and all those other platforms, what's gonna happen is um, you're gonna get views there, but really what the power of Instagram is, you're gonna wanna run ads, right? And ads are gonna cost money. So you need to find a way to get the money for the ads if you don't have any money, right? Um, so, I would just use my job money for ads. I would spend probably like 1,000 a month on ads. And if you know what you're doing with ads, you can definitely get that return on investment quite quickly, right? So what I would do is I would run ads, right? People would go to my Instagram account, really, because YouTube is nice. YouTube is, the thing is, there's like with coaching, there's like different funnel types, right? Like people on YouTube are like middle of funnel. People on Instagram are like top of funnel. So like the when people first get to see you is most likely going to be through Instagram, right? This is the funnel I'm talking about. It's like the Instagram DM strategy. But I have my Instagram account. I have it there, and then basically from there, I just start talking about what I'm good at, which is like, hey, if you want to become a network engineer, this is what you have to do. You do this, whatever, right? So after doing some of that, right, after some point, essentially what happens is I I focus on teaching people how to get into network engineering, and then I say, hey, if you're interested, you want to learn more and see how I can help you, please go ahead and book a call with me, right? So then people, they end up going and booking a call with me, right? So once they go ahead and book that call, what happens is in that call, in the beginning, I wasn't really trying to sell. I was just trying to see who my prospects were. But after some time, people were saying like, "Yo, are you selling? Like, is there anything I can buy from you?" And I was like, "No, no, not yet." But anyways, um, after some time, you definitely want to just get better. And ideally, that call is going to be a sales call. In the beginning, you may not want to do a sales call just to practice to see who your prospects are. But eventually, what you want to do on those calls is you want to sell them on what you're. So basically, you want to identify their pain point for that particular individual, whatever their pain point is, right? Which is for my, customer profile is they want to land a job, they want to make 80, 90K a year, right? That's their dream. So I'm like, okay, cool. I've done this before. I can show you exactly how to do it. I have a whole method, and I teach them the strategy. And I say, hey, this is how much it's going to cost, right? And it's a high ticket offer in the thousands, right? Like I said, you can start off with 2,000, 1,000, whatever. But ideally, you want to do that because high ticket means better clientele and more serious buyers. So that's just one area, right? Like I said, they don't have to pay in full. They can do a payment plan. They can do 500 a month, right? But anyways, once you get on that call, right, you close them. Then that's when you do one-on-one coaching. You're gonna do one-on-one coaching in the beginning for your maybe first 5 clients, and then you kind of want to turn off the ads and just focus on those clients' results. So after some time, I was focusing on client results, and some students got jobs, right? So then I use those students as testimonials, right? Because in the beginning, like I said, you don't have any results to prove to show people as a selling point because testimonials are selling points. If you don't have that, then you are gonna kind of struggle. But the thing is, that's why you want to do like these cheaper offers where you even if it's $1,000 for your coaching, that's fine, right? But the whole idea is you want to get testimonials, and the thing is you need to get them to pay. Don't do free coaching because people are not serious when you do free coaching. They're not going to take it seriously enough for you to to take action on what you're doing because people only take action when they pay money for it. Trust me. So once you do that, and you do all the coaching and all that stuff, then at some point you want to have your testimonials. Then you want to do this at scale. So once you do it at scale, since you're doing one-on-one, you're definitely going to want to create, ideally you want to do group coaching calls, and you want to have some sort of video modules that people can listen to. So that's the most ideal way of scaling this particular business. So that's kind of what I did. I kind of recorded the calls with the one-on-one calls, and I kind of aggregated them together. And after some time, I was like, okay, screw it. Let me just create a course because I didn't have a course at that time, right? So then you want to create a course. That's going to take a lot of effort, but really what you're going to do is from your clientele that you helped, you're just going to basically talk about those points, maybe have some slides, have some action points to do actions, whatever. And then you want to have like group coaching calls with those students. Once you do those group coaching calls, then at some point you're going to be able to scale it. Then you can just, use the money that you made from those students. Like, here's the thing, you either made money, right, or you're probably at a loss, not at a loss, but maybe at break even when it comes to the ads that you spent, right? Let's say you spent maybe 2,000 on ads and you made maybe 5K, right? At that point, then all you have to do, it's very simple. Literally all you have to do is identify who exactly your target market is, use the money that you made from those ads, reinvest it back into the business, just kind of scale it up. You're going to get more clientele because you're going to have more testimonials and more proof to show that it works. And you're going to have more faith, and your selling is going to get better too when you sell more. And at some point, you're going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing. And then at that point, guys, like that's kind of it. Like once you do that, your business is golden, guys. Like you built a legit business now, and you can actually scale it. So that's kind of how you get how to start this particular coaching business, right? I'll make a video on how to scale it, but this is just the start, guys. Okay. Like I said, this is one of the easiest business models to start in 2025. The hardest part is just finding your target demographic. And ideally, you want to teach people wealth. I'll be honest, like the health, the wealth, the health stuff is nice as well. But sometimes people don't see the ROI and not willing to pay $1,000, $2,000 for your help because people want to make a return on their investment. And some people don't see a return on investment on health for whatever reason. Even though, like I said, if you can get people to lose weight or whatever, like that's awesome. But some people don't see value in that, right? So the best is wealth. So maybe you find a way to make. Ideally, you want to already have a way that you either make money, either whether it's trading or drop shipping or Amazon FBA or cleaning businesses or whatever business that you have that's actually making money. Then you can use that skill set and teach it to other people and really scale that business, right? So that's all I want to say. That's exactly how you start a coaching business in 2025. Like I said, I give you all the sauce. If you guys have any questions, put it down in the comment section. But thank you guys so much, and peace.